Chapter 84. Night shifted to day. At around 9 a.m., rays of sunlight started streaming onto the balcony. The cold wind blew past, emanating a whistling sound as the person tucked in the blanket finally stirred. Liu Jiwei blurrily opened her eyes, looking at the curtains that were edged by the morning light. She couldn't help but think about what happened last night. It could be described with just 4 words: feet never touching ground. The number of times their feet touched the ground last night really could be counted on one hand. It was probably only that once when they took a break in the middle to eat the cake. Then, they were consumed by their desire, unable to tell apart the direction or the season, only knowing how to entangle themselves together. It was truly a fulfilling birthday. She closed her eyes again, turning herself over. Then she opened her eyes and looked at her lover beside her, with slightly pink cheeks and a gaze as gentle as water. Hearing the sound, Sang Wansi slowly opened her eyes, her long lashes fluttering like butterflies' wings. In that moment, Liu Jiwei felt like all the flowers in the world had bloomed in this one instance. It was unreasonably beautiful. Morning. Sang Wansi's voice was slightly raspy and low, but gentle. It was like a breeze had brushed against Liu Jiwei's heart, comfortable and mesmerizing. Morning. Liu Jiwei admired her girlfriend's beauty as she inched closer, using her finger to gently bump Sang Wansi's lips. "Why is my baby still here? You do not have anything scheduled for today?" Nothing." Sang Wansi replied softly, moving as she snuggled her head into the crook of Liu Jiwei's neck. Liu Jiwei calmly accepted her coquettishness, the smile on her face gentle and lazy. Her Wansi was always fragrant and soft, comfortable to hug. "Jiwei does not have work today, right?" Sang Wansi wanted to confirm. Liu Jiwei closed her eyes, stroking Sang Wansi's hair as she replied slowly, I finished today's work yesterday, so I can rest for the whole day." She actually was not that busy. At least, not as busy as Sang Wansi and Ying Xize. Or she would not have time to practice the violin at home and prove that she was not a lumberjack. Her words landed softly. She heard Sang Wansi say, "Got it." Then, Liu Jiwei suddenly opened her eyes, her whole body sensitive. "Wansi." Sang Wansi used one hand to hold onto her, her expression calm. Liu Jiwei's eyebrows furrowed as she sighed softly and called out again, "Wansi." Sang Wansi's kisses landed on her neck, her jaw, and finally on her lips as she asked with a slight smile, "What's wrong, sister?" Liu Jiwei held her embarrassment back as she stared at her. "You really are." Sang Wansi leaned closer to her ear, her fingers long and pale, especially dexterous. "Are what?" This child had really become naughty. She really was not as serious as she looked on the surface. "Wansi." Liu Jiwei's voice got lighter and lighter, with a trace of restraint. "If we keep going on, we won't be able to get up." Although she said that, her arms still wrapped around Sang Wansi. "We can get up late, we still have an entire day ahead." Sang Wansi lowered her voice, saying lovingly, "I have not seen you in a long time, I miss you a lot." She was gently caressing Liu Jiwei without any further action. Liu Jiwei tilted her head back, unable to withstand it. "I miss you too." A short gathering, then followed by a parting. Their longing for each other had grown. Thinking of her while eating, thinking of her before sleeping, it was her all the time. This made them able to better cherish every moment spent together. Then, "Does sister want me?" Want. Liu Jiwei suddenly had a "it is over, I have been hooked again, I am going to be dragged in again" feeling. But she surrendered. Her girlfriend was too mesmerizing. Since she could not fight it, then why not give in to it? She reached out. The two of them were quickly tangled together again. It lasted until 10 a.m., then they finally took a break and got out of bed to wash up. Liu Jiwei held onto her waist, feeling like it was going to break soon. Seeing it, Sang Wanxi's eyes filled with amusement as she helped Liu Jiwei massage her waist. The two of them finally decided to order food delivery. After eating, Liu Jiwei gave Sang Wanxi her birthday gift. It was a full set of winter clothes and a bracelet. As she helped Sang Wanxi put on the knitted gloves, she instructed her to keep warm in winter. When I brought you home last year for the new year, your hands were so icy. It was so cold and you were not wearing gloves, really. What if you got sick also? You are not allowed to go to the moon viewing cliff when it's winter. The wind is so strong, what if you fall sick? You have to watch out for your health and take care of yourself. Or else I will have to supervise you to make sure you're wearing enough warm clothes whenever you leave the house. Got it? Sang Wanxi calmly listened to her girlfriend's nagging. Her eyes were gentle and calm. Looking at the color and pattern of the gloves, she quickly recognized that this was what Liu Jiwei was knitting during the variety show. So she had already been preparing since then. No wonder Sang Wanxi felt like Liu Jiwei was not knitting just one person's clothes. Her Jiwei was really cute. Let us do that then, Jiwei. Supervise me for the rest of my life, help me make my birthday wish come true. I want to be together with Liu Jiwei forever. Liu Jiwei looped the scarf around Sang Wanxi's neck. It will come true. After appraising it, she kissed Sang Wanxi's lips in satisfaction. Everything our Wanxi wants will surely come true. In the blink of an eye, it was December. The weather got colder and An city was buried in snow and ice, white stretching as far as the eye could see. Ying Xize's birthday came around again. Although Liu Jiwei couldn't celebrate this deity's birthday again this year, she asked someone to send a present across to wish him a happy birthday. Ying Xize didn't mind. Liu Jiwei's Wusan had helped him somehow get the lead in a school romance drama. He had not even had time to thank her yet. Xiao Ying, sis, I will treat you to a meal when we have time. Liu Jiwei replied, okay, I will definitely come by for teacher Ying's meal when we have time. Xiao Ying, that is settled then. Xiao Ying, I am having grilled skewers with Jiao Jiao. Liu Jiwei, when did these two kids start playing together? Xiao Ying, I said I will treat her to skewers before, and I had time today while she did not have class, so I brought her out. Xiao Ying, do not worry teacher Liu, once we're done eating, I will definitely send her back to school safely, I will guarantee her personal safety. After she received the text from Ying Xize, Liu Jiao sent her one. It was all photos of their grilled skewers. It looked like they were happily eating. Since their relationship was not bad, then Liu Jiwei would not say anything. Liu Jiwei, alright, let Jiao Jiao take my place and celebrate your birthday with you then. Liu Jiwei, happy birthday teacher Ying, may your career get better and better. Xiao Ying, same, the same goes for teacher Liu. Xiao Ying, happy.jpg. After Ying Xize's birthday, it was director Guo Hui's catch-up soon after. The cast was all decided, and the show would begin filming in the next year, approximately after Liu Jiwei was done filming director Lu Zhao's show. The main point of the meeting was to get all the actors together and let them acquaint themselves with their colleagues beforehand. Besides Sang Wanxi, Liu Jiwei had never worked with anybody else there. But everybody was friendly and they slowly got closer as they chatted inside the warm house. Guo Hui told Sang Wansi and Liu Jiwei, actually, we wanted to extend this invitation a long time ago, but we were worried you two would not accept it. How could that be? Liu Jiwei smiled. Since it's director Guo's movie, and teacher Sang is here too, I will definitely accept. Sang Wansi pretty much said the same thing. Looking at them, the scriptwriter joked, it feels like you two look more and more like a couple. Liu Jiwei was embarrassed. Sang Wansi held her hand calmly, that is why we are your first choice. Scriptwriter, that makes sense. The topic was somehow averted. After the meeting, there was news on Weibo that director Guo was preparing for a same-sex relationship movie, but everything about it was kept a secret for now. It was enough to whet her fans' appetite. At I have a tea house. I have a friend who's on the verge of death. She wants to know if it is a BL movie or a GL movie. What is the setting for the story? At good time, the scriptwriter is Wen Shuang again. I can smell it. It is a 40-meter sword that nobody can survive. At unfulfilled wishes, not so, Wen Shuang said she'll be a bit more humane this time. At the man who sells matches, a bit these two words are worthy of being scrutinized. At Moon, questioning deity sect. When is questioning deity sect going to air? I want to watch it. A single stone resulted in 1,000 ripples. With one person asking about questioning deity sect, there would be another, and another. A show that ended filming in July, when would it be able to be aired? Guo Hui calmly replied, winter break. Saying goodbye to the old and welcoming the new, it was the start of another year. When Guo Hui said winter break, she meant it. Questioning deity sect started broadcasting at the start of January. It was just in time for Liu Jiwei's birthday. Seeing that she had worked hard the whole year, Wen Yao gave her some time off. To accompany her, Sang Wansi had requested for a day of leave from Zhongxian Rui. Snow was falling outside the house, and the cake on the table was half eaten. The two of them cuddled on the sofa as they watched questioning deity sect. On the screen, the unlucky little junior sister had been attacked by a demon again and she was running around in panic. Until her beloved senior sister descended like a god from the sky to save her. Seeing her character run around, Liu Jiwei found it amusing as she said, at that time, that tassel even hit my eye. Sang Wansi immediately lowered her head and touched Liu Jiwei's eyes. Liu Jiwei laughed, it is all right, the tassel was light, it did not hurt. Sang Wansi kissed the corner of her eye, that is good then. The two of them watched the show as they discussed the interesting things that happened while filming. Their happiness shone in their eyes, not leaving even once. The atmosphere was harmonious. Liu Jiwei suddenly felt that this was good too. Without anybody else disturbing them, without any troubling matters, just the two of them who were in love. She hooked her arm around Sang Wansi's neck and kissed her, telling her, Wansi, I really like how it's like now. Sang Wansi hugged her, I like it too. Even after this long, I still love you and want to be with you forever. Hopefully, you will be able to accompany me next year too. Hopefully, it will be like this every year. Liu Jiwei asked, Wansi, do you need to go back this year for the new year to accompany your aunt? Sang Wansi shook her head, not going back, my father has my aunt to accompany him this year too. With Meng Lianyu around, her father absolutely would not be bored. What about your parents? Sang Wansi asked. Liu Jiwei paused, then said, they called me a while back and asked me how I was doing, then nothing else after that. After her parents had asked and she had replied still all right, the world had fallen silent again. Her parents did not know what to say to her. She did not know what to say to her parents too. Unknowingly, they had become blood-related strangers. Even the most basic conversation would feel awkward. But it is okay, she continued. I have gotten over it. Having Jiao Jiao is enough. It's not like only your parents can give you a sense of family, a younger sister is good too. People should not be too greedy. She had nothing at the start, now she had something. Even if it was a dim light, it was enough. She was that easily satisfied. It is okay, Sang Wansi said. You still have me, I am your family too. Lu Jiwei smiled as she heard that, holding Sang Wansi's face. Yes, I still have you. The television was still showing the show they had acted in. The sound of the background music and people talking filled the room. In the show, the little junior sister was still chasing after the person she could never have, calling out sweetly senior sister. Outside the show, Lu Jiwei was passionately kissing Sang Wansi. All the unrequited love in the show was erased, drawing a perfect end to the two people who had finally become a couple. At the start of February, Lu Jiwei arrived at Sang Wansi's home as planned to celebrate the new year. Knowing that she had Sang Wansi to accompany her, Lu Shijiao rest assured. Lu Shijiao did not know when it began. As long as she heard that her elder sister was with Sang Wansi, she would always feel assured. As if Sang Wansi was Lu Jiwei's home. As long as Sang Wansi was around, Lu Jiwei would not be bothered by the wind and rain. She could only hope that her feeling was correct. Compared to last year, the two of them were much closer this new year. The two of them were still polite last year, giving way to each other. This year, they had become one. If Sang Wansi could not help out with anything, she would hug Lu Jiwei from behind, following her wherever she went. Lu Jiwei had long since gotten used to the fact her girlfriend was a clingy person. But she could not reject it. Such a pretty and cute clingy person, who would not like it? Lu Jiwei used chopsticks to pick up a piece of broccoli from the pot, blowing on it to cool it down before sending it to Sang Wansi's mouth, letting her try it. Sang Wansi nodded as she ate, affirming Lu Jiwei's cooking skills. Lu Jiwei smiled and took a tissue to help Sang Wansi wipe her mouth, asking, "What work do you have after the new year?" Sang Wansi replied, "There were not any good scripts last year, so I only have director Guo's movie for now. It's still early." She was not someone who would randomly choose scripts and ruin her own reputation. As someone who had experience, Meng Lianyu wouldn't let her do that either. So before she was going to film director Guo's movie, she would just do some simple work as a brand ambassador and take some time out to learn about how to act in a movie from Meng Lianyu to improve herself. Lu Jiwei was a little busier. After Lu Zhao's show, she would immediately go into director Guo's production crew for the movie. "I seem to have experienced a bit of your life," Lu Jiwei said. Sang Wansi reached out and turned off the fire, asking, "What experience?" Lu Jiwei dished out the vegetables, using the chopsticks to arrange them neatly on the plate, being the female lead. "Look at your last 2 years, did not you finish one project then immediately start another? You didn't even rest in between." I suddenly feel that it is good you have time to rest this year, really. I do not want to see you carted to the hospital because you collapsed from exhaustion. Come, have some meat." Sang Wansi replied, "I am taking care of my body now." With her girlfriend supervising her, stuff like collapsing from exhaustion definitely will not happen to her. Lu Jiwei rubbed Sang Wansi's head, "Good girl. After we are done eating, I will play the violin for you. I am really good at Twinkle Twinkle Little Star now." Sang Wansi bit back a smile and nodded. As someone who had seen Lu Jiwei practice until now, she was very clear about Liu Jiwei's current standard. Her girlfriend had worked hard and she was smart, she could already read scores and play some simple pieces. Songs that were more complex just needed a bit more time to be practiced. So everything was ready, just waiting for the television drama to start filming. After the second day of the new year, the official Weibo for Guo Hui's new movie announced the first lead, Sang Wansi. This was equivalent to confirming the same-sex relationship. The comments section exploded. At Goodfellow, why do I need to think of a name again? Is my dream coming true? At this child has really worked hard, awesome, I love seeing pretty ladies the most. At Don't Lock It, I am crying, who is the second beauty going to be? Hurry up, 3 minutes, I want all her information. At Melancholy, I am going to guess a Liu Jiwei, if I am wrong, then I will guess another beauty. Doghead. At This Is Not Suitable, right, little junior sister, little junior sister, little junior sister. Let them work together for the third time. Although there had only been one lead announced, but the netizens were happily guessing who the second one would be. Sang Wansi's fans saw that she was continually trying out different genres and they were happy for her. Not only did their artiste have good skills, but she had a good eye for choosing scripts, so they did not need to worry. Being a fan of hers meant they were a fan of safety. The only thing that worried them was Sang Wansi's love life. Although the child had not dated yet, they were all scared the child would be cheated by a scum man in the future. Because of that, they had constantly advised her in the comments of her Weibo posts to make sure that she cleaned her eyes before dating someone. Sang Wansi had replied them, asking them to relax, she knew. How could she be cheated by a scum man? She did not like men in the first place. But the worry from her fans let her rest assured. This meant that as long as her partner was not a bad person, the fans would accept it and not interfere. But Liu Jiwei's fans were different. Liu Jiwei was a big sister to them, so they believed that Liu Jiwei had her own opinions on dating and didn't need them to say anything. At the moment, her career was more important. Practicing the violin was also very important. Although they did not know why Big Sister needed to practice the violin, but having one more skill was a good thing, they supported it. But some people were asking in the comments, why do you keep practicing the violin? Is it because you are preparing for a show? I see a lot of actors practicing musical instruments lately, are you all in the same production crew? Under this comment, Liu Jiwei replied with a dog head emoji. Director Liu had only said they could not say it out, he did not say they could not hint at it. Besides, they were going to make the announcement and start filming after the new year, it wasn't too much to hint at it now. Whenever she thought about the fact that she was going to be a female lead, she got exceptionally excited. During the new year, she would talk to Sang Wansi at night before sleeping, her voice filled with anticipation for the first day of filming. Once she got excited, she would hug Sang Wansi and snuggle up to her uncontrollably. Sang Wansi played along, being happy and excited with her each time. The two of them passed the days in happiness and sweetness. The 5th day of the new year. This was the last day that they were spending together for the new year. On the last day, they didn't want to do anything but sit on the sofa together. Accompanying each other was the most beautiful thing. They held onto each other's fingers, playing with them as they chatted. Chatting about the first time they had met, all the way until Liu Jiwei's first leading role. A radiant smile slowly spread across Liu Jiwei's face. God, I am going to be a female lead. She leaned against Sang Wansi, sighing for the nth time. Sang Wansi was not tired of hearing it either, only finding Liu Jiwei cute. She was so cute no matter what she did. So she lowered her head and kissed Liu Jiwei's soft hair, her voice gentle, "Yes, my Jiwei is going to be a female lead." Liu Jiwei chuckled, her silliness coming out. Female lead, female lead. She could do it. Just as she was rejoicing, the phone on the coffee table rang. It was a call from Wen Yao. Worried that it was something urgent, Liu Jiwei quickly picked up the phone. "Xiao Yao, what is it?" Wen Yao's anxious voice rang out, "Big sister, the filming for Symphony of Dreams probably will be delayed." Liu Jiwei sat upright. "Why?" She thought about it and furrowed her brows tightly. It could not be. "Because of me, right?" Sang Wansi had vaguely heard delayed. Now, hearing Liu Jiwei say this, she got up and indicated for Liu Jiwei to turn on speakerphone. Her girlfriend was innocent. What could she have done to delay the production? It must be someone behind the scenes. After putting the call on speakerphone, the voice rang out clearly from the speaker. "Pretty much, but I feel like it's not your fault, it is Zhou Lingling with the problem." Zhou Lingling, her again. The two of them thought silently. "Tell me what happened in detail." Wen Yao said. Filming was about to start, when the investor suddenly requested to change the female lead and use Zhou Lingling instead. They did not allow for any arguments, or they would pull out their funding. Director Lu would not agree, saying Zhou Lingling does not suit your role, and he would not accept an unsuitable actress as the female lead. Then what? Liu Jiwei was a bit anxious. Wen Yao sighed. Then Director Lu said filming would be postponed as he tried to get new funding. But quite a few investors all know the investor for Zhou Lingling. She had not finished speaking, but the meaning was clear. Lu Zhao had been backed into a corner. He valued this script and worked hard to polish it, making the proper preparations, but because of this, the production had to stop here, wasting a lot of time and energy to deal with it. So he could either switch the actress or continue dragging things out with the investors. Anyway, it would not be possible to start filming within a short period of time. After that, the schedule of the actors would probably not match up anymore. But if he changed out Liu Jiwei now and gave the role to Zhou Lingling, not only would it destroy the role, it would also ruin the hard work Liu Jiwei had put into practicing over the last 7 months. Lu Zhao was not so stupid. A meticulous, carefully planned out piece of work was better than one that was rushed and messy. He would rather die than let someone else ruin his show. Liu Jiwei suddenly felt breathless as she held the phone. This trick from Zhou Lingling was targeted towards both Lu Zhao and Liu Jiwei, putting them both in a difficult situation. It was only today that Sang Wanci understood what Zhang Xianrui meant when she said Zhou Lingling was full of tricks. Not changing anything from the start and waiting until now, was not it just to let Liu Jiwei's hard work go to waste? But what had Liu Jiwei done wrong? What right did Zhou Lingling have to do this just because she had a backer? Wen Yao was trying her best to comfort Liu Jiwei over the phone. "It is okay, big sister, we have to trust Director Lu. Trust that he can get new funding." Sang Wanci furrowed her eyebrows. Lu Zhao did need funding now, but it had to be a big investor who was reliable and would not backstab him again. He already was gutsy telling the investor that he would not change the lead, but if it happened again, the whole production crew would fall apart. According to her knowledge, Zhou Lingling's investor was indeed big. But Zhang Xianrui had said it before, Zhou Lingling's investor was nothing compared to their mighty Meng family. Liu Jiwei's happy mood immediately turned into one of despair and sorrow. Why did she encounter such a thing to someone who had nothing? What could she use to fight with Zhou Lingling and the resources she had at this moment? The system even came out to cause more trouble. Mission issued: solve the problem with Zhou Lingling. System reminder: no time limit. Lu Wei. Outrageous! She didn't have a backer. How was she supposed to solve it? Could it be even the system was encouraging her to give up? Giving up meant solving the problem. Thinking about it, she sighed. How about giving up then? Wasting her own hard work would be better than wasting everybody else's hard work. But if she gave up, would Zhou Lingling stop? Someone like Zhou Lingling would only lower her head slightly to someone who was more popular than her, right? In such a short time, can Director Lu really find someone like that? She did not know. She did not know anything. Just thinking about it made her head hurt. Why could not these people just honestly film shows? Was not the role of an actor to improve their acting skills and create a good work? At this time, a hand came out from the side and hung up the phone. She turned her head to look over, and saw Sang Wansi solemnly saying, "Ji Wei, Director Lu said you are the female lead, so you are the female lead. Nobody can change this decision. As for the other things, do not worry about it, I will handle it." Lu Wei blinked slowly. "What are you going to do?" Sang Wansi smiled, then kissed her forehead. "Be your investor." Lu Wei. Chapter 85. Lu Wei did not know what Sang Wansi was going to do. Sang Wansi only comforted her, asking Lu Wei to relax and let her handle everything. Lu Wei suddenly felt that somehow, her girlfriend's image had become even bigger. Sang Wansi kissed her forehead and said in a reassuring tone, "I am going to make a call. With me around, you don't have to think about anything, do not be scared, got it?" Lu Wei slowly nodded her head. The sudden withdrawal of funding had long since messed up her thoughts. It was the first time she had encountered something like this. It was normal to be lost without any experience. Luckily there was Sang Wansi. Amidst the chaos, she had forgotten. Her girlfriend was her support. Although she was not clear what exactly Sang Wansi was planning to do, but hearing Sang Wansi ask her not to panic or be scared and to trust her, Lu Wei's heart could not help but settle down. Sang Wansi headed into the bedroom with her phone. Lu Wei's gaze followed Sang Wansi's footsteps. Even though she couldn't see Sang Wansi, she still gazed at the bedroom door. Lao Wu. The man with his head buried in the numbers and program suddenly heard a call. He came back to his senses and opened another screen, glancing at the person who was sitting blankly. "What is it? You heard what mission the system just gave me, right?" "Oh that, I heard it, you were picked on by that supporting lead, right?" I guess so. You would not still be wanting to counsel her, right?" "I do not know. Lu Wei would do that for all the people who were determined to be evil supporting roles. People who were not evil at heart, like Ying Xize, would regain his consciousness after being counseled, returning to the right path and not blackening or wanting to harm the female lead Sang Wansi. If they were actually showing their true nature, like the narcissistic original male protagonist Chu Luo, then forget about counseling him, even an electric shock would be useless. It's easy to shift a mountain, but hard to change someone's nature. This old saying was true. So Lu Wei did indeed have thoughts about trying to counsel Zhou Lingling in the past. But Zhou Lingling was proud and arrogant, not willing to meet her. The only thing they had in common was the delayed symphony of dreams. Because of that, she did not have a chance to talk to Zhou Lingling and figure out her real nature. "We'll see," she sighed. "We need to settle this first, to avoid implicating Director Lu and the rest." No matter what, Zhou Lingling's trick had already harmed the innocents. She had to figure out how to solve this matter first before thinking of anything else. She looked at the bedroom door again. "Speaking of which, if Wansi helps me to solve this, does the mission still count?" "Counts," Lao Wu said. No matter what method you use to resolve it, what matters is that it is resolved. Liu Jiwei sighed, wow. Does not that mean I'm just riding on someone else's coattails? Lao Wu laughed, if you can make someone willing to let you ride on their coattails, that's also your ability. Because she was good, because she was worth it, that is why Sang Wansi was willing to help. Not everybody was a selfless philanthropist. Liu Jiwei lay on the sofa, turning her head to the side as she looked in the direction of the bedroom. How nice! Being able to meet her, to like her, to be liked by her. How nice! Sang Wansi stood by the window, silent. Her phone's screen had not lit up once. She was still considering it. Regarding funding, she should actually leave it to her father. After all, he was someone who had spent so many years in the business world. He had the most right to decide how the group's money should be invested and how to handle it. But the two of them were arguing. Thinking about it, she finally unlocked the screen. And called Meng Lianyu. Auntie, there's something that I would like to ask for your help on. Meng Lianyu held her phone as she sat by the window, one hand swirling a wine glass as she calmly listened to Sang Wansi explain. This was the first time their family's little kid had asked them for help because of an outsider. But actually, she knew about all of these. As a crew member, she got her information much faster than others. Because Lu Zhao had personally come to tell her of the delay. Sang Wansi slowly stopped talking. She felt like her aunt on the other end of the phone was too quiet, as if she had long known about it. Auntie, she asked. Did you already know about this? Meng Lianyu was honest. Sang Wansi, you also know what help I wanted you to provide. Meng Lianyu, yes. Sang Wansi, what do you think I should do? Meng Lianyu said, as for this, I just thought about it. Sang Wansi, what? Go see your dad, Meng Lianyu said. You know this, he's the most suitable person when it comes to this kind of stuff. The two of them had not met in around 2 years. The father was busy with his business while the daughter was busy with her career, they had not interfered with each other's lives. But this was not a long-term solution. The conflict between a father and his daughter had to be solved, or it could be worsened at any moment. Nobody wanted to live their entire life with a thorn sticking in them. As part of the family, Meng Lianyu couldn't bear to watch the once close father and daughter become enemies. Her deceased sister-in-law definitely would not want to see that either. So if she could help to remove this thorn, why not? Besides, her brother's attitude had softened considerably from before, at least he wouldn't be unwilling to listen, but whether or not he could totally give up the dream of his daughter becoming a pianist and accept her wishes of being an actress. This was something the father and daughter had to sit down and discuss. Go see him, Wan Wan. Meng Lianyu looked at the red wine in her glass. You both should sit down and discuss it. The conflict has to be solved eventually, you cannot live with a thorn in your side. Your mother definitely would not want to see you two like this either. Sang Wansi did not reply. Meng Lianyu said, he is not unredeemable. Would an unredeemable man worry about whether his daughter was eating enough or wearing warm enough clothes? Would an unredeemable man secretly send money to his daughter's manager and make her promise a basic standard of living for his daughter? He was just living in conflict and stubbornness, unable to open the lock at the moment. Sang Wansi lowered her eyes, Auntie, I cannot watch Jiwei suffer and do nothing. I know. Meng Lianyu put her glass down and got up. You want to solve her problems, Auntie wants to solve your problems. Nobody will be left behind. Wan Wan, is not the point of you working so hard outside for so long because you want to tell your father your decision isn't wrong? Now is a good opportunity. Go see him, Auntie will accompany you." Sang Wansi fell silent. After a moment, she slowly replied, "All right." Lu Jiwei sat on the sofa, arms wrapped around herself. She was waiting for Sang Wansi to come out. Finally, she saw Sang Wansi come out of the room dressed up and prepared to go out. "Lu Jiwei." She grabbed the seat of the sofa and asked, "Where are you going?" Sang Wansi wrapped the scarf Lu Jiwei had given her around her neck, walking over and leaning down to kiss her. "I am going to see Auntie, wait for me to come back." Lu Jiwei tilted her head up to look at Sang Wansi, her eyes shining. Sang Wansi's lips landed on hers again, bringing with it an undeniable liking. "Do not worry, let me handle it." Lu Jiwei nodded lightly, her eyes filled with trust. She had always believed Sang Wansi, believed in Sang Wansi's love for her. "Then be careful on the road." Sang Wansi nodded. She turned to leave. Lu Jiwei suddenly grabbed her hand. "Wansi, it's okay whether you can solve it or not. Do not pressure yourself too much. Come back early, I am waiting for you." She did not know if Sang Wansi was actually going to meet her aunt or meet her father. If it was the latter, and Sang Wansi argued with her father again over this, then Lu Jiwei would rather be silently beaten by Zhou Lingling. Anyway, she was a transparent entity in the past, she was used to suffering, it was not a big deal to do it again. Sang Wansi could clearly tell from Lu Jiwei's eyes what she was thinking. And she knew she did not fall for the wrong person, her Jiwei deserved the best of everything. "Do not worry, I know the limits." Meng household. Meng Langcheng stood by the window in his study, watching the snow. When Sang Wansi was small, as long as he stood here, he could see his wife and daughter happily playing with the snow in the backyard. His daughter would always happily shout for him to come down quickly to help her build a snowman. But now, his wife was no longer around and his daughter had left the house. Meng Langcheng's eyes were deep as he looked at the sky. A tablet was on the table beside him, the screen still showing the friendship variety show Sang Wansi had joined. His eyes jumped over it. The old memories in his brain came like waves, appearing clearly in front of his eyes. When she was little, Sang Wansi loved to sit by her mother's side and play the piano. She even said that she liked the piano the most. But now, Sang Wansi's voice came from the tablet, speaking slowly. "I actually really like the piano. At least, I really liked it in the past. I just do not like it as much now." Meng Langcheng sighed. Did not like it as much. He thought his daughter still liked the piano, really liked it. His fingers curled into a fist, then loosened, the bones of his fingers working. He sank into thought again. Then, his phone rang. His Mimi was on the other end, saying, "Your daughter is coming back to see you." In the study, Meng Lianyu held onto the red tea that the housekeeper had brewed, sitting down and slowly sipping it calmly. Meng Langcheng sat behind the desk, his fingers raised to support his forehead as he looked at the daughter in front of him. His gaze unconsciously appraised her. She looked healthy, just a little skinnier than when she had left home. It was winter, she had worn plenty of clothes too, with a scarf and gloves. But the tip of her nose had become a little red from the cold. Meng Langcheng's gaze slid downwards. There was a cup of warm red tea in front of Sang Wansi, drinking it could dispel the coldness in the body. If it was in the past, he could easily tell her to drink up. But after their fight, he could not say anything, it all stuck in his throat. Sang Wansi was looking at him too. Her dad still seemed to be the same, with no changes to his appearance aside from a few more white hairs along his temples. His body did not change either, neither gaining weight or losing it. He still looked like the same elegant, handsome man with a dignified appearance. Neither of them spoke. The air was heavy. Meng Lianyu was the first one to break the silence. "Wan Wan, drink the tea and warm yourself." Sang Wansi obeyed. Then Meng Lianyu continued, "It is the new year, you two better not fight." She slowly sipped another mouthful of tea, "or else I will not know who to encourage. My position is so awkward, please empathize with me, thanks." Sang Wansi. Meng Lang Cheng. It was like she was there to add to the atmosphere. Meng Lianyu had not planned to speak much at all. The conflict between the father and daughter should be solved by them. She was only responsible to mediate if she felt the situation was turning bad. Meng Lang Cheng watched as Sang Wansi drank the tea, and was about to speak when Sang Wansi put the cup down and beat him to it. "I would like to ask you to invest in my friend's television show." Meng Lang Cheng. There was not even any pleasantries before jumping straight to the main topic. Forget it, pleasantries now would be even more awkward. It would be better to get straight to the point. Meng Lang Cheng put his hand down, adjusting his posture as he asked, "You came back to get funding?" Sang Wansi did not deny it. The production was going to start soon, but the investor pulled his funding and the progress is severely impacted. My friend, as the female lead, has been targeted and now faces the risk of being changed. I want to help her." Meng Lang Cheng's face did not change. "Why should I give funding to a stranger?" He did not know which friend this was, or why this friend would face the risk of being changed. Sang Wansi said calmly, "Auntie is also participating in this show." Meng Lianyu raised an eyebrow. Not bad, she even knew to use Meng Lianyu now. Meng Lang Cheng, "So? Auntie will not let you lose money." Sang Wansi's eyes burned. "I will also participate and promise this show's popularity." Meng Lang Cheng suddenly saw his young self in her. At that time, he had been forced by his father to mature quickly, to become strong. He had also once sat in front of his father like this and negotiated terms with his father. But he had been used to being forced, and he felt the same way as his father. A person could be pushed to their greatest potential through force. His father wanted him to do even better, to be the best. He wanted his daughter to do even better, to be the best, to become a world-famous pianist like his wife. But this clearly was not what his daughter wanted. Was she really more suited to being an actress? Was she really not suited to being a pianist at all? Did she not want it at all? His emotions were complicated. His conscience was advising him not to interfere with the child's matters. But the stubbornness hidden in his heart wanted his child to pursue a lifelong dream of music like his wife did. At the end, he decided to leave the decision up to God. "I can fund the show, but you have to agree to my terms." His domineering bearing was suppressed. "Since you insist on being an actress, then you have to win 3 Film Empress Awards in 2 years. If you cannot do it, I do not want the money, but you have to continue being a pianist and accomplish your mother's dream." Sang Wansi paused. Even Meng Lianyu's actions came to a stop. There were 4 film festivals in 2 years. It already was difficult to even be nominated, what more to consistently win the award? Besides, there were not that many good scripts out there. All the stars had to be aligned for it to happen. Although she had managed to accomplish it when she entered the industry, but this does not mean one could use this standard and demand it of a junior. "Big brother." Meng Lang Cheng raised a hand to interrupt her, his eyes still staying on his daughter. "This is your auntie's starting point. If you can do it, from then on, I will no longer interfere in you doing what you want, and you can use the family's money however you want. Since he was so conflicted, why not leave it to fate? If his daughter really managed to do it, that meant that God and his wife in heaven also felt that his daughter should pursue this career, and he shouldn't stop it. Meng Lianyu. Not only was she there to add to the atmosphere, but she had to be the voice of reason. The light in Sang Wanxi's eyes flickered. 3 in 2 years, that really did need a lot of luck. But it wasn't impossible. After all, her aunt had done it. So she wanted to try. She was willing to bet and leave her fate up to luck. Besides, even if she didn't agree now, would not her father still insist on her being a pianist now, and she was not willing to watch as Liu Jiwei suffered? If she could not do it. No, she definitely could do it. Because she had good luck that normal people did not have. Okay, I agree, Sang Wanxi's face was calm. But I want to add another term. Meng Langcheng's attitude was suddenly calm. Go ahead, I will agree to anything. Sang Wanxi looked at the teacup in front of her, then slowly lifted her head. I want you to acquire Shengyu culture. Meng Lianyu quietly took a sip of her tea. How had things progressed to this stage? Were not they supposed to resolve their issues and talk properly? Why did Shengyu get dragged into this? After waiting for a few hours, Liu Jiwei finally managed to wait for Sang Wanxi to return home. After entering the house, Sang Wanxi slowly took her scarf off. Liu Jiwei rushed up to see if she was okay. Not only was Sang Wanxi fine, her eyes were sparkling with amusement. Jiwei, how many assistants do you want? What show do you want to film next? Liu Jiwei was confused. She only felt like there was a vague feeling of, if you want this world, this emperor can win it all for you. What happened? Nothing. Sang Wanxi brushed aside her hair as she said gently, I am just changing a boss for you, that is all. Liu Jiwei was shocked. Why is even my boss changing after you went to see your aunt? Lu Zhao really didn't think that he would be sitting there pulling out his hair over funding during the new year. He was planning to announce the show and start filming after the new year, but now Zhou Lingling really did not have any good intentions. Those investors were dumb too. And in his misery, Zhang Xianrui suddenly called him. Then, he heard something that he would never have dreamed of hearing in this life. Sang Wanxi was willing to enter the crew with funding and replace Zhou Lingling as the piano-playing second female lead. He was dumbfounded. Dumbfounded to the point he wanted to slap himself to see if he was dreaming. Director Lu, Zhang Xianrui's voice was politely amused. Do not worry about the matter of funding, this investor is powerful and absolutely trustworthy, he won't do anything like backstabbing someone. Lu Zhao asked dumbly, who is it? Zhang Xianrui didn't hide it, Xing Yi Group, Meng Langcheng. Lu Zhao. Meng Langcheng, he would not wake up with one slap, he needed 2 slaps. Manager Zhang, do not joke around with me, how can Meng Langcheng suddenly give me funding? That was the famous giant in business, he wasn't familiar with Meng Langcheng either. Compared to Meng Langcheng, Zhou Lingling's investor was nothing. Who could imagine that a small one had left, and a gigantic explosion would come after Zhang Xianrui was calm, no worries, when Chairman Meng's people go over tomorrow to sign the contract with Director Lu will know if it's real or fake. But Director Lu, think about it, can my Wanxi's position be raised? They can both be female leads, right? She was still Sang Wanxi's manager in the end, everything was about Sang Wanxi's interests. No matter what show it was, as long as she could be the female lead, which manager would be willing to let her actress be the supporting lead? Yes. Lu Zhao immediately got agitated. Do not worry, Manager Zhang, as long as teacher Sang is willing to act, I'll immediately change the show to a double female lead one. If Sang Wansi was willing to play the role of the piano-playing second female lead, who cared about Zhou Lingling was not it just a double female lead, he will take out his backup script immediately. Hearing that, Zhang Xianrui smiled in satisfaction. Okay, thank you Director Lu for taking care of us. Our Wansi coincidentally has a schedule, we'll go sign the contract with you tomorrow. Work resumed on the 7th day of the new year. Liu Jiwei had something to do, so she went back to the company with Wen Yao. The saying that one can't avoid one's enemies is true. She bumped into Zhou Lingling. Zhou Lingling also started mocking her. Why are you still here? Zhou Lingling smiled. Should not you be finding a place to cry? Wen Yao was about to stand up for Liu Jiwei. Liu Jiwei reached out a hand to pull her back, then turned to smile at Zhou Lingling. How unlucky would it be to cry over the new year? It is best to smile more. Zhou Lingling raised her eyebrow and lifted her chin. You can still smile, you'll be changed out soon. She believed Lu Zhao would definitely crumble under the pressure. At that time, the female lead role would be hers. She had even found the body double to play the violin for her. As for Liu Jiwei, she was an unimportant character, she could go wherever she liked. Seeing her like this, Liu Jiwei could not figure out if she really meant it. Zhou Lingling. Zhou Lingling looked towards her. Liu Jiwei asked, do you really like playing tricks like this on others, ruining their hard work? Is it as long as you like it, as long as you are satisfied, you are able to ignore how others turn out and do what you want? Is not there a shred of unease in your heart? Did you never think that one day, you might be in my position and be bullied? She looked at Zhou Lingling, trying to see the tiniest shred of hesitation on her face. But there was not any. Zhou Lingling was not moved, looking at her as if she was seeing a small, laughable ant. Yes, Zhou Lingling said. As long as I am happy, I can do what I want. Be in your position, wake up, I'm not the same as someone like you, a supporting role with nothing. She had resources, she had the right to look down on others. What was Liu Jiwei? She wouldn't even consider her existence. Whose fault was it? Liu Jiwei was inferior to her, unsavable. Lao Wu commented calmly. Liu Jiwei agreed. Hearing it, Wen Yao only thought that Zhou Lingling was really unredeemable. Zhou Lingling could not be bothered by what sort of expression these passers-by had. She puffed out her chest, proud like a peacock. Humph, this female lead is going back to wait for Director Lu's call. As the words came out, her manager received Lu Zhao's call. Zhou Lingling felt like even God wanted to humiliate Liu Jiwei, so she purposely picked up the call and even put it on speakerphone. Lu Zhao's voice floated in the hallway. Zhou Lingling, thank you. Zhou Lingling immediately looked at Liu Jiwei with a haughty glance. What is there to thank Director Lu? Say it. Say that you are going to change out Liu Jiwei. Let Liu Jiwei know the outcome of stepping over me. Lu Zhao, thank you for sacrificing yourself for the bigger picture. Did not you say you wanted to cancel your contract when let is not delay it? How about today? Zhou Lingling's expression immediately changed from smugness to confusion. Zhou Lingling's manager. Wen Yao was shocked too. What was happening? Only Liu Jiwei was calm and watching it as if it was a show. Then, Lu Zhao continued, oh right, we just announced it on Weibo, you can remember to like it after you see it. I still have stuff to do, bye. The call ended. Zhou Lingling could not believe it. Announcement without her, without funding, what could they announce? Her manager quickly opened the official Weibo page for Symphony of Dreams. Only to see the latest post talk about the two female leads. At television drama Symphony of Dreams, on the path of chasing our musical dreams, walking alongside a friend, I will not be lonely with you around. Let us all look forward to the stories about music brought to us by the two female leads at Liu Jiwei at Sangwon Si Support. Zhou Lingling. When did Sangwon Si sign the contract? What is going on? Zhou Lingling was utterly confused. Where did they get the funding from? Her manager quickly called to ask about it, telling Zhou Lingling as he heard it on the phone. They said Sangwon Si brought the funding with her to the crew. Zhou Lingling. After the manager heard the name, he was stunned. It is. Zhou Lingling was anxious. Who is it? She wanted to see who the idiot was to give Lu Zhao funding. The manager was stunned, his eyes like reflective copper. It is Chairman Meng from Xingyi Group, Meng Langcheng. Zhou Lingling. Please excuse me,